Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back, Jamie here today. And we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the Saw franchise and I'm going to defend it in my own way. Obviously, there's problems with this franchise and I am a big fan of it, but I can admit that there's problems with it. But I feel like it's kind of underrated, to be honest. Like, I go online, I go on Reddit, go on YouTube, and I see people barely talking about it, or when they do, they have problems with it, or they barely even watched it. So yeah, this is going to be a new series of videos where basically I defend the stuff that I like horror films or TV shows or whatever. And obviously, like I said, I know there's problems with it. I'm going to criticize it as well. I'm not a complete fanboy where I can't admit there's anything wrong. This video is in defense of the Saw franchise. Like I said, it's one of my favorites of all time. We're up to 9 films now, the 10th coming out next year, so I thought, why not do this video? There's also going to be some mild spoilers throughout this video. I'm trying not to, spoil each movie, but I'll probably talk about a few things. So if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the films, carry on. Let's start with the first point. One of the main criticisms I see of the film is people calling it torture porn, saying like it's all just made just to, torture people and stuff like that. But clearly it's not. You got films like Hostel, Human Centipede, a Serbian film. They're torture porn. They're made just for the sake of showing you torture. There's barely any story with it. But Saw has got an actual story going throughout it. It's not just trap after trap. There's an actual story being told. Obviously, they focus more on the traps as the series goes on. Just like any slasher film, they would make the kills more and more bigger each film, wouldn't they? But it's not just trap after trap. There's an actual story being told. So this whole criticism of being torture porn, man, I never actually got it. Like I said, Hostel, Human Centipede, Serbian film. Clearly, like, they're just made to shock you. That's the only reason why they're there. Saw is not like that. It has an actual story. They came out every year with a new film, and the story kept going and going and going. So yeah, this whole torture porn thing, I never actually got it. Second criticism I see of the series is they never actually finished the series. They probably watched like the first movie or the second one and then gave up, which is fair enough. But I don't see how you can criticize the whole franchise saying, oh, it's just torture porn, it's just traps, blah, 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 when you didn't even finish the whole series. Obviously, I like most of the films, but there's a few films I don't like Saw 5 and Saw 3D, to me, are the worst ones. Like, there's barely anything good in them. But the rest of them, like Saw 2 and Saw 6, are my favourites. And saying that a 6th film inside a franchise is your favourite, that's saying something, because usually, most people agree the first film is the best, but in most franchises, not in this one. I've got to say Saw 1, it's a good film, but I prefer the later sequels. But I think part of the reason why people gave up, because obviously the story just continues, doesn't it? Year after year, they just released a new film. So if you don't keep up with the story, like if you've seen Saw 1 and Saw 4 is coming out, you can be like, I have to watch 3 other films to know what's going on. I'm not doing that. So in a way, I sort of see why people think this way, but at the same time, it's like you can't really comment on the whole series if you just watch Saw 1 or Saw 2. Like I said, the series gets better and better. Like Saw 6, like I said, favourite for mine. It's also the only horror series to have 7 consecutive releases, like year after year, between 2004 2010. Each year, if it's Halloween, it must be Saw, or a new Saw came out. So yeah, like I said, I understand the criticism of like, you don't want to watch all these other films to keep up with the story, but at the same time, you can't really comment on the whole series if you've not watched the whole series. Another point I'm going to bring up is Jigsaw. John Kramer at this point is definitely a horror icon. The past, 20 years, who's the biggest name? You gotta go with John Kramer, I think. Most successful, box office, movies, everything like that. Like, Billy the Puppet is iconic. I know a lot of people probably confuse Billy the Puppet with Jigsaw, but, Billy's just like, the mouthpiece, isn't it? The mascot on the tapes. But if you're gonna dress up as Jigsaw, most people do, like, they dress up as Billy if they think it's Jigsaw. But yeah, like I said, like, he's definitely a horror icon. Tobin Bell's acting is amazing. When you hear that voice, it's iconic. And the music as well by Charlie Close, like Hello Zep. Oh my god, every time you hear that, you just get goosebumps. And it's up there, one of the best horror themes of all time. Like, you got Halloween and Friday the 13th and all that. I'd put Saw right up there with it. Hello Zep is so good. But yeah, like, in the past 20 years, who's the biggest horror icon? I'm gonna go with Jigsaw. Who else is there, really? Like, you got, like, Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring and all that, but they've not really had the success that Saw has had. There's another point. Like I said though, I am critical of the series as well, like Saw 5 and Saw 3D, I hate. Jigsaw and Spiral are alright, but it's not like I'm a fanboy of the series and I'm like, oh, it's completely perfect, there's no criticism of it whatsoever. So yeah, in wrapping up, I'm not trying to change people's opinions or anything like that. I'm just pointing out, like, the inconsistencies that I see online. It seems like for the most part the Saw series is underrated and people either call it torture porn, which I don't agree with whatsoever. Like I said, Hostel, Human Centipede, Serbian film, they're torture porn films. There's barely any story in them. But yeah, I'm not trying to change people's opinions. I just find it weird. I just do. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down below about the Saw franchise if you're a fan, or if you're not a fan, let me know why. I'll probably do more of these videos in the future defending stuff that I like. I'm thinking the next video might be in defense of Halloween 6 or in defense of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because they're two films that I really like and a lot of people seem to hate. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions about the Saw franchise down below. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, peace out in a bit.